The topic for today is ways to stand out in a crowded job market. Hello, my name is Wendy Alexander. I'm the founder of Happy Career Hub, and I help job seekers and career changers land roles they love, get better incomes, or change to balanced, purposeful careers. So I want to talk today about the ways to stand out in a crowded job market, but I want to tell you a little story. So I had a colleague, a team member actually, someone who reported to me, bring me a resume once saying, this is a resume of my friend, and this friend had tried many avenues to land a job and wasn't successful, so asked the friends and the family to start passing the resume around their network. And one of the things I thought was, wonder why this person's not getting a call back. I wondered for a brief moment if the resume was crappy, but decided to have a look at it anyway. And it wasn't the right resume for the roles I was hiring at the time, but I knew there were other roles similar to the qualifications in another department. So I ended up passing the resume on, and that person got the job. So why I'm telling you this story is, way number one to stand out, number one way to stand out in a crowded job market is to reach out. So if you're not getting any traction with applying for jobs, start reaching out to your network, reach out to family and friends, because you never know if they know something. And often there are jobs, in fact, a lot of the time, many jobs don't make it to the market. These jobs actually are advertised internally, or people start talking about it internally before it even gets to the job market, and a lot of hiring occurs through networking. So that's a way to stand out. And what I found with this person, even though I had that initial thought, I wonder if this is a crappy resume, I admired the person for trying a different avenue to get into the company, for actually reaching out to a friend. And so that is a great way to stand out in a crowded job market. You show initiative when you reach out and you ask your networks and people if they can help you or if they know of openings. So that's way number one. Include your transferable skills on your resume. So try and zone in on some of the transferable skills. We're talking about things like leadership. We're talking about teaming skills, written communication. Your resume is a great way to display your communication skills. How well can you sell yourself in short, sharp ways on a resume? Time management skills. All of those skills are transferable skills. So if you end up focusing on that, you will find that you're able to go across a little more than just your industry. So when you highlight your leadership, your time management, your communication skills, your teaming skills, all of those things, you can often fit into other roles where maybe you only need a handful of job-specific skills, but most of the skills are focused on these transferable skills. So that's another way to stand out in your resume. Research the job you're applying for. Look at the titles used by the hiring company. You know, sometimes your title that you once had on your job or on your resume many years ago could be an outdated title. It's similar skills, similar kind of work, but the titles have changed. So you might come to a role with something like, say, business intelligent developer on your resume, and maybe that's what you were called on a job you did, say, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Now they call them data engineers. So research jobs, research titles, see what they call, look at the skills, see where the skills are similar, and name your titles in your roles according to what's current, not what it used to be called, 5, 10 years ago. That's another way to stand out, having the right titles on the roles and the skills aligned to those titles. And then the fourth way, number 4, make sure your LinkedIn presence is strong and what is on your resume aligns to your LinkedIn. So many recruiters and hiring managers go and check out your LinkedIn. And they often try and find if there's any disparities between what's on your resume and what's on your LinkedIn. And it's interesting that even the slightest thing, even if you've sort of gotten months wrong or years wrong or something like that between the two, there are a couple of things that happen in a recruiter's mind or in a hiring manager's mind. Number one, red flag. You're not telling the truth. Why is there a disparity in your dates, in your information? So that immediately brings up a red flag, and it may just be that you've made a mistake. But the other flag that it raises is that you are not someone who pays attention to detail. And I'm sure all of you have seen job descriptions. Many, I'd say 90% of job descriptions have that phrase in it, pays attention to detail. So if you miss an important detail, like aligning dates or information between the resume and the LinkedIn, you've already missed that one criteria. That criteria that's on the job ad that says pays attention to detail. You've missed that. You've demonstrated that you haven't paid attention to your own detail, across two different places. So you've got information in this resume document and you've got information in your LinkedIn presence, and the two don't align. You're demonstrating just by the misalignment that you haven't paid attention to detail, or you're raising a red flag that you've got some dodgy information between the two. And so either way, it's not going to count in your favor. So to reiterate, 4 ways to stand out in a crowded job market is to reach out to people, get your resume circulating amongst people, friends, family, colleagues. Find out from people if there's a position going in their company, if they know of anything, because sometimes roles are advertised even on an intranet, the company's intranet, and before they go out to the market. So if you can land in on those roles before they go out to the market, that's one way for you to stand out. Include your transferable skills on your resume. Leadership skills, time management, communication, teaming skills, all those skills that you can take to various industries or various roles. Research the job you're applying for. Make sure you understand the skills that the job requires, but also make sure you're aligning your information to the titles. So if you've got an old, outdated title on a resume, make sure you understand what the current title is for that job so that you can align and display that you've done research. And then make sure your LinkedIn presence is strong, and that what is on your resume aligns to what is on your LinkedIn. Make sure there's no disparity, because it often creates mistrust and or, as I said, the attention to detail thing. That is a big thing for most job recruiters and for hiring managers. If you miss that one, if you demonstrate that you're not someone who pays attention to detail, you can be sure you will not get a call back for the interview, because that is one of the most common criteria across just about every job in just about every industry. You will always see that phrase somewhere on a job description. So you need to demonstrate that that's something that you have, that you do pay attention to detail. So get those things right. Once again, bye for now.